Warning: this video contains images of large arachnids. If you have arachnophobia, please turn away while you still can. Everyone else, enjoy the video. Greetings, fellow moviegoers, and welcome to Movie Central, the place to talk about movies, TV shows based on movies, toys based on movies, games based on movies, and rides based on movies. I'm your host, Mr. CCS, and this is my pet gorilla, George. Let's get back into the Wizarding World groove now. If you somehow didn't know, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you live, was a huge success, bringing in boatload of money at the box office, obviously giving Warner Brothers the permission to put in the work for the sequels. And we're going to focus on the first of the 7 sequels today. I said 7. You'll see why if you have only read the books and not seen the movies. This is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. The second installment of Boy Wizard Harry Potter's Adventures at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, based on the novel by J.K. Rowling. A mysterious elf tells Harry, played again by Daniel Radcliffe, to expect trouble during his second year at Hogwarts, but nothing can prepare him for flying cars, trees that fight back, spiders that can talk, and deadly warnings written in blood of the walls at school. So, if you want to know, this is actually my least favorite of the Harry Potter films, but at the request of Overhead Voice, I will let him express his honest opinions in his podcast, which he told me not to give a shameless plug over. Anyways, I think that this film is very interesting, and it makes sense. So let's see why. Let's start with the characters. Now, I'm not going to mention Harry, Ron, Hermione, Draco, McGonagall, Hagrid, Dumbledore, Snape, Fred, George, and Molly Weasley, or the Dursleys, because they have most of the character traits from the previous movie. And Ginny is just a plot device. That's about it. I will say one thing about Harry because it matters. He has the ability to speak Parseltongue, which means he has the ability to talk to snakes. This is because Voldemort's soul partly went into Harry, but that's another story. So let's focus on some new characters, starting with Dobby the House Elf, played by Toby Jones. He's a sad and forgotten soul whose masters beat him up, and he tries to get Harry not to come back to school due to a danger that lurks around. In the end, he obviously fails, but he does become friends with Harry by the end. Now, Overhead Voice hates this character and the next one I'm going to bring up, but I will say that these two get the job done in the story, especially Dobby. So let's talk about Moaning Myrtle, played by Shirley Henderson, whose only goal is that she was a ghost killed by a monster that lurks in the chamber itself, and now she haunts a bathroom. God, they put this into the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios. It was so popular. I am not kidding. Anyways, like I said, she gets the job done in being in the story. Now we have Lucius Malfoy, or Lucius, played by Captain Hook from Peter Pan 2003, Commander Zhao in Avatar The Last Airbender, and the Grand Inquisitor from Star Wars Rebels, Jason Isaacs. A vile and hateful pure-blood wizard that wants the power in the Wizarding World. And I love this character for that. Now we have Gilderoy Lockhart, played by Kenneth Branagh, who could be annoying at some points because he's a fool, but on the other hand, I love how much freaking charm Branagh puts into this character. And then we have Christian Coulson as Tom Riddle, and I will just say that he looks the part of his demented young boy who will turn into a demon-like sorcerer, and I can't help but love him for that. Okay, now let's hand it over to Overhead Voice for the VFX. Thanks, Mr. CCS. So the visual effects here are an improvement over the previous film, with things such as these obnoxious blue boogers in the top left-hand corner, Aragog the Spider, the Flying Ford Anglia, driven by Arthur Weasley, who's a great character, by the way, Fox the Phoenix, and finally, the Basilisk. These are so astonishing, as these came out the same year as Gollum's finalized design of the Two Towers, but I'll get there when I get there. Okay, back to you, Mr. CCS. Thanks, Overhead Voice. So as you can see, the visuals are pretty damn good. The music, like the last film, was done by John Williams, who still adds the sense of magic to the series like he did the last time. And now for our action. We have great action here. From rescuing Harry to flying to Hogwarts to the Aragog scene and the Basilisk fight scene, the action is so freaking incredible, and it should be cherished for years to come. My final verdict is this may be the weakest Harry Potter movie, but it's definitely worth your time, with characters that get the job done, great VFX, amazing music, and stunning action. This is definitely a worthy film in the wizarding world with a solid 10 out of 10 on its resume. Well, that's it for this review. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And tune in next week when I take a look at the final installment in the Captain America saga. With that said, I'm Mr. CCS, this is Movie Central, and that, my friends, is a wrap. See you next week.